What's up, Response On Players? We are here at the Atlanta Regional, and we are here with one of our top 4 finalists.
I'm Dawson Milstead of Team Lechuga.
And is this your first Top Cut? Have you Top Cut before?
This is my first Top Cut.
Very first one?
Very first one.
Hell yeah, congrats.
Thank you.
What'd you play?
I played Porco.
Porco?
Yeah, Mr. John Pork.
Okay. Now, there is someone else from Team Lechuga, who probably hates our content, Gavin Kale. He has also played Porco before. Do you get this deck from him? Or
Absolutely.
Character?
Yeah. So Gavin is obviously like the mastermind behind most of the ratios in the deck and like even the sideboard options, things like that. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And were you practicing this deck for a while, or was this kind of a last minute switch that you made?
So I also played in Louisville.
Okay.
I was the second Porco next to Gavin.
Gotcha.
I got 34th, I believe.
Okay.
So the deck changed a little bit since then. Nothing crazy. The biggest change was Flash Fire Fist Hellspider. That card was insane the whole event. Just
for like the mill or the speed, or like kind of both?
Well, so it was Desperate Slash before, which does mill an extra card, but but Hellspider is an overstated 4-diff, and it's literally the same stats with its own effect as Enough Talk, and that's a 5-diff.
Yeah.
And the extra mill is great, but like sometimes you do cycle, and giving 1/1 to your whole turn is absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
And it definitely came up a couple times, and yeah, that card's just crazy.
How did your Swiss run kind of go? Was there anything that was like particular standout that you struggled against, or any interesting decks you may have played on?
I don't think there was any major standout. The biggest, my one loss was against Zeke 1, which actually played against as my top 16 match again.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
So I realized like, depending on what they have, it can be very difficult to kill them, but your biggest goal is to keep them off of 4 backups. If they can't transform, it's really hard for them to kill you.
Yeah.
And that matchup, like, I got a little unlucky. My opponent got kind of lucky. They were a great player. They were able to get there. I wasn't able to. So they 2-0'd me in Swiss. I climbed my way back up. Round 7, played against Jorge.
Okay.
And we were really heavily contemplating, do we ID, because we both wanted to top.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a coin flip at that point because we have to go to round 8. And we in the end decided we have to do it. And he won the die roll. He turn 2s me, and I'm like, well, I figured it was a die roll matchup. I do the same thing game 2. Game 3, he actually gets a little unlucky, misses lethal on turn 2. He can't start attacking, so he has to build again. He didn't have enough. I was able to backswing him, and I managed to pick it up off of him, and then I ID'd round 8 to make sure it was guaranteed top cut for me and my opponent.
Yeah, I know it, because he's also on Porco, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. We have like a handful of cards different.
Yeah, I've done that matchup because I played Gavin in Louisville, and it was the same thing. It was like, who won the die roll? You kill me, I kill you.
Did you see orange?
Yeah, exactly. And it's insane. So awesome being able to pull that out. We cut to a top 16 today, so we had a few rounds in top cuts. How did those go?
Yeah, so my first match, like I mentioned before, was against the same guy, playing Zeke 1, and basically the opposite thing happened. I had a little bit more luck on my side. He played it so well that I was pretty much in a position where every time I'm going to kill him, it is my last card for exact lethal, and I have to like check a 5. And like when you're turn 2ing someone with 34 health, I believe, like that's pretty difficult. Like if you don't have something like armbar or like get to it with Mighty Blitz, right?
Right.
It can be harder to get to on turn 2, depending on your board. Game 2, pretty much the exact same thing happened, where play my entire hand trying to kill this guy, and I have to check a 5. I did the math first, just in case I had to keep the last teaming for maybe a political stripe or something, give myself the smallest chance of survival.
Right.
I had 2 attacks left in deck, and I had like maybe like 17, 18 cards. So it was pretty in my favor. So I felt pretty comfortable going for it, and I got it. So that was extremely difficult. All of my top cut matches, I was top seed because I got 5th in Swiss. So that made me feel a little bit better, like being a glass cannon deck. So my next match was Pony. So this one was funny because I go first, and I'm Porco.
Yeah.
I won game 1.
Just kind of blow up.
Yeah, 3 foundations, no Marleys. It was great.
Wow.
And game 2, I actually almost survived. Basically, they checked 1 lethal slash immediately, and in their opening 7, they told me they had all 3 lethal slashes after the fact.
Oh, yeah.
And so they going through their turn, I'm taking these like tickles, 4 damage. I'm like, I have 24 health.
Yeah.
4, and I milled 9 with you, so I ended up at 6.
Okay.
And I don't remember the exact sequence, but on his last move, second to last move, he had Pony and 1 foundation, and I had fake blocked with a Lust for Battle. Mm-hmm. And so I put him in a position of check a 3, and I'm winning next turn.
Yeah.
And he checked a 5. It was pretty likely. Mm-hmm. Like he was more than likely to do that, but I had to play to my outspec, my ability.
Yeah, of course.
Game 3 is not what you would think.
No?
No. So I'm going first. You think, oh, I'm going to win turn 2, right? Yeah. Well, I drew all gray. I built, but I had, enough like high blocks in hand. I was like, there's a world where I'm okay here. Because I think they had 4 foundations maybe.
Yeah.
And they grayed out. So they built and passed back to me. I played, I only saw like 2 attacks. So I played a Besiege. It hit. I built some and passed. And I was like, this is awful.
Yeah, so we're playing like the long Porco game now.
Yeah. So they went into, they just didn't have that much again. And I'm like, this is absolutely crazy. And I forget, maybe even 1 more turn had passed because that game was like way longer than you'd think. But eventually I just found a teaming combo. But it was difficult because the thing is, when you're poking like that, you are giving Pony counters. And I think on my kill turn, they started with 7 counters. And I killed on the very last move. I killed, and it was through Jury. Yeah. And that was through Jury committing a card.
Speaking of kind of tougher matchups where you kind of got to think a bit, top 4 you played against Phil Birch, and he's playing Rodan.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Yeah, so that match is one of the harder matchups, strictly because he's playing super defense Rodan. Mm-hmm. So your best opportunity is Porco's favorite turn 2. Yeah. Which is, get there. Have enough. You really want something like double teaming against that because you have to play enough attacks. They're going to block a couple times, no matter what, pretty much. So what ended up happening is game 1, I had to keep my hand because I had 4 foundations, but it was only a guaranteed build 3. Okay. Can't put that back because it was Marley's Warriors, and if I mulligan and draw attacks, I'm done. Yeah. Or even actions, right? So I kept it, and I did the classic of what I've done a lot, even in top 16, and I still got here, was on my 3rd 1 diff on a 4, I check 5, 5, 5, and then a 3. Yeah. I always do that. But so I'm like, I can kill 7-handers on 3 foundations. Yeah. Rodan, I probably need Marleys to do that. My hand was pretty good. It wasn't perfect like double teaming or anything, but it was like Besiege teaming and stuff like that. So going into it, I drew too many attacks. So the problem was, if he does have something to stop me, I'm in a really poor position. Yeah. Because I think my hand was I want to say it was Barrier Shield Foundation 5 attacks, something like that. Okay. That's a rough remember, but right. But basically I started going in a little bit, move got sealed with Nonagon, and I was like, I can maybe kill through Nonagon because I have Marley's Warriors, because my build 3 I'm pretty sure was Lost, Frightening, Calm, Marley's Warriors. Mm-hmm. So I was like, later in the turn I could seal something that matters, and I wanted to stun his board, but I can only stun 2. Right. And he built 5. So he has Nonagon, Barrier Shield. I was never killing him turn 2. I don't have Dark Ward. And so the Rodan thing, he gets ahead of me, and I didn't have extra cards to like build or anything to like catch up with him. And so he wins game 1. We go into game 2. I'm going first again, of course. In that scenario, you kind of have to, you're kind of pigeonholed into a longer game sometimes. And that kind of happened. Yeah. And I was at 8 foundations. He had like passed back with pretty strong board defensively. And I had a Resolute into my hand, some other card. I think it was maybe a Hell Spider or something.
Sure.
And I was like, this is literally going to be my only opportunity to kill him. I have 8 foundations. I had 2 Dark Words. I had Marley's Warriors. I had like Forcing Surrender. I was like, this is the turn I have to go in. And I drew my top 5 foundations. Oh my goodness. So I was like, I was hoping like I could at least make it a 2-1.
When you go into those kind of longer games, are you still aggro-minded? You're just like, I'm stitching everything to try to find my attacks on my next turn? Or are you starting to shift to, we're getting to the late game, I need to start defending myself, and then hope that I find it?
Yeah, so this is kind of one of the misconceptions of Porco, is that like you can't play defensive at all. Mm-hmm. The thing is, you have so much health for a 7-hander that if the other deck isn't like crazy aggro, like there are hands that you can play correctly. You've got I'm With You to defend yourself. You've got Lost to stop some aggro foundations. You've got Lust for Battle in the right moments. So while Porco isn't super defensive, we do play Barrier Shield. You know, we have stuff like Hero's Upbringing in the sideboard to stop our opponents from stopping us or stop them from doing anything to us.
Real quick, before we kind of end up here, I wanted to kind of ask you about the event as a whole. Did you enjoy the space? Did you have a good time? Was there anything that you would change about this event?
So obviously, like the players that are here will know, like there was some complications with the venue. Like the main room was a little warm. I was lucky enough to like stay in the air conditioned room.
The winner's room.
Yeah, pretty much. For literally the entire event after round 1.
Nice.
Well, except for finals, but they fixed the air in there, so it was fine. I mean, everybody was friendly. I think they did a little better about like keeping promos for people in Top Gun. I'm very, very happy about that.
Awesome. Would love to hear that because I know there's been issues with that in the past.
Yeah. Other events, like they didn't hold any for Top Cut. So like Top Cut literally got their promos last and they didn't have anything, you know, like when Gavin Top Cut and he didn't get like what he wanted because that's all they had left was what he got, right?
That's fair.
So I think that is definitely an improvement. Yeah, I mean, I think it was pretty well maintained. Like I don't have like any real gripes. I had a great time, obviously. My friends did good too. You know, just a little shout out, Gavin Cale and Andrew Marquez. They both topped the event as well.
Awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, we had a great time. My friends are super stoked for me, and like I'm gonna go home and get more celebrations.
Yeah.
So
awesome. Yeah, we love to hear that. I mean, speaking about like your friends and everything, anybody you want to shout out before we close up here?
Yeah, all of my friends that aren't still here, that didn't get to make it to the event one reason or another. Jacob, Drew, some of my friends that are here, like Chris and Luna. I hope I'm not forgetting people. There was a lot of people here. George, who is in the finals. Especially, I have to like point this one out. Especially, it's like Gavin is the number one.
Sure.
Gavin's a GOAT. Like in my world, he is a master deck builder. He is the reason I got this far. Really, like he taught me minor sequences and like. You know, when we played like even mirror matches and stuff like that, he's like, I don't think you're making wrong plays. And like, he really put me in a better headspace of like, just because you're not topping events doesn't mean you're a bad player. Yeah. Like, he's like, you know, you have bad luck sometimes and it is what it is. Like, that doesn't make you bad. Yeah. Like, when you take your losses, look at them as, did I lose because I misplayed or did I lose because I got a little unlucky or my opponent got lucky? So yeah, I'm just like on top of the world. So if I missed anyone, I apologize. But yeah, I'm stoked.
For sure. Awesome. Hey, well, congratulations on your first Top Cut.
Thanks so much.
We'll hope to see you do that more. Yeah.
Welcome back to Response on Players. I am Brian here with another Top 4 interview. Joining me today is...
Kalvin. Everyone calls me Wub, so,
Kalvin or Wub, whichever you prefer. I'm going to say Wub because I only mentally think of you as Wub, and I've literally sat here for minutes going, Wub has a real name. I don't remember it, so I'm definitely going to point at him and have him say it out loud.
Yeah, no, totally fair.
So, obviously, congratulations on your Top 4 here at Atlanta. What were we playing today?
So I was on Devilgen, doing the equipment heist stuff. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because I believe you were on a different list last time that you were pretty strongly feeling about.
Yeah, Zeke was great for the last 2 events. The Devilgen thing was just I like pivoting and trying different strategies. Devilgen's like a very aggressive sort of combo, and it seemed like very high power, so it felt fun to kind of do. And then the thing with this deck is it's very good at sometimes giving you free games, which are nice, but then when you have to get to the point that the decisions really matter, the sequencing and figuring out how to guarantee your checks so that you get through your opponent's defense is really intricate, and that puzzle is really cool as well, which is what sort of drew me to it over something like, say, a Pony, where it can be a little more, well, I just need to keep ripping cards off the top and get to something eventually.
Sure.
I like deterministic is what I'd say, is when you kind of get to that, the puzzle.
Makes sense. You feel like you get to make the decisions and they feel good at the time.
Yeah. And of course, I think things are probably a bit overtuned with this, but that's...
We won't get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously, great run for you. I don't remember what you placed in Swiss, but I believe you were pretty much...
I was 3rd.
Yeah, I was pretty sure you were pretty high up there and getting to go first pretty much the whole time. Over the whole 11 rounds you played, 10 rounds you played, what were some notable matchups that you thought were really cool?
I really enjoyed my top 16 versus Barlow, because he's a friend, but then also he was on Hanj 1, and it was a list that I think we had really optimized. Primarily him, I didn't touch it much, but it was a lot of cards that I thought were really good in that character. And Hanj is interesting because she can just barely get through Devilgen's offense sometimes, and then she can also present 35 pretty easily. So there was a lot of back and forth and chicken of representing potential 30 damage swings that were, it was sort of like 2 Titans facing off, and I enjoyed that, even though for a normal deck that's insanity to be thinking about, oh, I could just die from 30, but it was a great match overall. I think getting to go first was a huge advantage and ultimately allowed me to take it. But no, shout out to him. It was a good one.
Obviously, we've been here in Atlanta. It's been a great time. If there was anything you want to change about this event of any kind,
yeah, I mean,
change.
Obviously the venue's had its issues, but I do think the TOs did a great job this time around. Coming in Friday kind of late and sort of seeing how they'd set everything up and all the plans and hearing from Tam what they wanted to do and the screens and everything, I think this was awesome. And they did their best despite, the challenges with the AC and everything.
Agreed.
For me, I definitely had a sideboard that I predicted to play a lot of other Devilgens because I thought people would be very high on it, and I didn't play into one, so my sideboard was pretty blank, and that's probably the personal thing that I would change. But overall, I had a good time. Obviously, the performance was above expected for sure. I'm very happy.
Totally. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out before I let you go?
Yeah, for sure. Friends who play test and everything, and then team, Trading Post, as well as MGLA and the guys at Gaming Giant, Love you all. So thanks to everyone, for sure.
All right. Well, Wub, congratulations.
Thank you.
And we'll hope to see you next time. Welcome back to Response on Play Top 4 interview. I am Brian again, and this time I'm joined by...
Hey, my name is Jorge Rangel. I've been playing this game for a couple years. I've been judging it for the past 8 months because I just didn't like how the game felt. Probably weird. And I got chosen not to judge this event, so I was like, I'll just win it, I guess.
And did you win it?
No, but I got the greatest position ever after. I got second, which is pretty good.
Which is great run, obviously. George, who were you playing today?
I was playing the big bad Porco Galliard.
Okay, so
That's his name,
we're... double check it.
Yeah.
So you're not the only Porco that we've talked to today.
Correct.
But you are the highest placing Porco we've talked to today. So what made you decide on Porco?
He's broken. I can just kill you 1-2, which I did. I think out of the first 8 rounds of Swiss, I did that about, I want to say like 80% of the time.
Fair enough.
I have a screenshot of one of the matches from Top Cuts that I did to Ace Maneuver, Sam Tate.
Oh, JSM.
Yeah, and
Great friend of the show.
He put so many. He had like 16 pieces of DR, like 16 damage. So he was effectively he was Hanj 1, so he's like 37 health character or something.
He's 31 normal on this.
So 36. Yeah, 47. Sorry, I said 37. Yeah, it was insane. This guy's just broken.
Yeah, dealing 50 damage on turn 2 is really wild.
On 3 foundations.
Yeah, that's
Party's words.
Not better. Yeah, so obviously you felt very strongly about Porco and his place in this event's metagame. You were talking about rounds. You mentioned your ran with Sam Tate in top 16. Were there any other notable rounds where you were just like, man, this was really cool, or this was really fun?
It was really fun for me when I 2-0'd people, because I turned 2'd them a lot. But I went against Kalvin in Swiss, actually, and then again in Top Cuts.
Mm-hmm.
But in Swiss, I got roasted. It was like, well, not really, but I got roasted essentially. I was put on Checo 5 twice to win 2 games, and then it was whatever. I just got cracked back, and I was like, this game. That's just the way the game's gonna go. With Devil Jin versus Porco, it's just like, they're both aggro decks with the fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely agree.
I did beat 2 Godzillas and 2 Devil Jins, Hawks for the last game of the stream, and then a Zeke. Zeke won.
Or, so just Zeke Jaeger.
Yeah, Zeke Jaeger. And then he slid into Hanj, and then I just blew up their backups with Activate the Coordinate.
Yeah.
And it was GG's.
Yeah, for sure. If you're able to get rid of that. Yeah,
I played against the other Porco at Top Cut, actually. I
yeah?
lost to him. We were going to tie, but then I was like, we should just play it, because then one of us goes on anyway, and then they can tie, and then the other one has to play another game, but who cares? It's either we're both going to play another game, or one of us plays another game. And I'd much rather have one of us just play another game.
Yeah, fair. Totally makes sense. Yeah, so obviously this was a great event here at Atlanta. But if there was anything you wanted to change about the event, either your own deck choices, anything else, maybe you were sad with the amount of fries you got with lunch, like, what would you change?
I would change that I would have gotten first place. But
fair.
The venue was fine. It was very small, to be fair. We had 2 rooms. One of them had no AC. It was like a solid 87 degrees at all times. But the event ran very smoothly, honestly. We had a lunch break, which was pretty cool.
Yeah,
It was a planned lunch break.
Planned lunch break, where everybody, I'm pretty sure, was basically able to eat their food in time.
Mostly everybody, yeah. They said they
everybody.
were going to extend the time by a little bit, but then they saw that maybe people were eating, so they just like, we're starting now.
Yeah, for sure. Then yeah, with that, we appreciate your time. Congratulations, Jordan.
Thank you.
And we hope to see you on this one again.
Of course, yeah, another time.
Another time.
And we are back. We have our Atlanta regional champion here. What's your name and what'd you play?
Yeah, my name is Phil Birch, and I played Rodan, Giant Terror of the Sky, or something like that, whatever the last part is.
Absolutely. So I know that you played and top cut with that deck in Toronto, correct?
Yeah, I got top 8, lost to Jacob Johnson on his overhaul deck.
Okay. And you played it again here. What's got your idea playing for Rodan? Is it something that you've been playing a lot previously, or just think he's good right now?
So I was originally going to play like a version of Deku for this tournament, and then I didn't get to test it at all. So I built a Rodan deck at midnight the night before the tournament in our hotel room, and it turned out to be a pretty good one. So I do like Rodan. I mean, I've enjoyed the deck, but I was trying to mix it up a little bit, and not really didn't do that. Didn't do that at all.
That's funny. So kind of speaking of things you didn't plan to do at all, I know I kind of heard, I was rewatching the stream just to see your match and kind of play it, and I heard mentioned that you didn't even expect a top cut. You like ID'd the last round and didn't think you were going to make it. Is that right?
Yeah, so round 8 I had to go against Barlow, and I am notorious for wanting to play about 6 rounds of cards in a given day. So I walked up to Barlow and asked him if he wanted ID. He wanted to do the math, but he said he was pretty sure it was fine. So he did the math, and he was like guaranteed to be in based on the results and everything. And he said that I was a maybe, and I said that sounds great. That sounds perfect. I was all done, and I was like, well, if I don't have to play tomorrow, that's perfect. I can hang out and watch. And I was in at 16th seed, and a little disappointed, honestly.
That's so funny. Yeah, 16 to first is like a crazy run. That's wild. Before we get into that though, kind of during your Swiss, was there anything interesting that you went up against or any notable matches that you had?
So my first couple of rounds were the only like 2 that I had against decks that weren't just like the top end of the meta.
Okay.
I played against Patrick Toombs playing like Sam Rutherford, not Devron Racer one. I think the starter deck one, doing the like Thunder Spear Barrage, make them for 11 and throw like 6 of them in a turn deck. And I was like, well,
Okay.
that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Ended up being my first draw of the tournament too.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, I was pretty prepared for the day to be done pretty quickly. Then I went up against Rodan in the second round, which I notoriously hate. I don't know why. I've never lost to Rodan, but I think the idea of him flipping over every single one of my foundations is just so offensive when I love foundations so much. So from there, though, it was just like Godzilla, meta stuff, Devil Jins, ponies, etc., etc. I played 3 Godzillas in Swiss.
Oh my goodness. That's a crazy run then, being able to beat like I think Godzilla is kind of crazy, especially as much damage as he can put out. So beating 3 of them is amazing.
I think Godzilla is really bad, so I'm glad we have differing opinions on this. I think that deck is so bad if you could just block, and
That's fair.
all my deck does is block. So I dropped like I think 2 games to Godzilla's in like the 4 rounds I played against Godzilla a total. So
wow, that's awesome. I'll have to take some notes then. So let's talk about a little bit about the deck first. Was there anything different that you were doing with this one compared to Toronto or some of the other Rodan lists that we've seen?
I just decided that I wanted to take all the cards that like didn't do damage out. Pretty much, I didn't play Goblin Bolts. I didn't play Filled Without because I was just flooded on actions. And I added 100% repeated Smash because I think that card is awesome. And like the way I ended up building my deck, it had 8 punches after I put it in there anyway. So there was like potential for it to actually have kind of like more than a ready one effect on it. And I didn't realize how much I was going to like it until like halfway through the tournament though.
Yeah.
There was tons of Vast Hybrid Chimera Krakens like freezing my stuff. So if I had the repeated, I could just ready up whatever they froze. And then like if I play against a Godzilla and they're going to try and survive with their defense with their effect, it just turns that off if I can get it to 10 damage.
Yeah.
So I get it to 10 damage. Fair. Yeah, it came up actually in my top 8 where I got it to 10 damage and then they like were like they had already used the Godzilla effect, and Matt Childress was like, so do I still get the +2 to this one? And it was like, no, you.
Oh, wow. So it works retroactively too.
Your check cannot be modified. It doesn't say you can't activate abilities that modify the check. It just says it can't be modified. So it stops Breaker, it stops Godzilla, it stops a lot of cool stuff. That I would say is the big change that I meant. I went a little bit more like aggressive leaning.
Okay.
And a little bit less try to prepare for everything. And I like played a slightly smaller deck. It was like 70 instead of 73 or something like that.
Okay. Cool. Now I know you had obviously you made it through all the rounds. So how did that kind of go? What were your matchups, and how were those games before up to finals? We'll talk about finals separately.
My top cut or regular or
top
like
cut,
all of
top
them?
Cut. Yeah, no, just top cut.
Yeah. I was like, all of them?
No. Just top cuts.
Well, in top 16, I had fully prepared myself to scoop and then go to bed because I had lost so bad to Gavin Kale in Swiss.
Mm-hmm.
He 2-0'd me in Swiss, and like I was like, oh, I have to play him again in top cuts. That sounds awful. I'd rather be sleeping. So I had prepared myself to like not play. I was like, I could just forfeit. It'll be fine. I can go sleep. Because again, I didn't want to be in top cuts.
Right.
I was trying intentionally to be 17th place. But yeah, I decided to play because like all my team was trying to get me involved. They all wanted me in there. They wanted me to, get everything done. And they're like, yeah, you can do it. You just got to believe. And I was like, this is some lame anime stuff.
Friendship is magic.
Yeah, so I just like went in, and he had such a horrendous game one that like was not of anything that I did, that I was like, oh, I guess I can win. Like,
Yeah.
his first game was just like, he checks horrible. He builds like 2 foundations the entire game, and I just murder him. And then like game 2, I played a really, really great defensive turn, pretty similar to like what I was doing in the finals, where he played an incredibly long, Devil Jin equipment heist string. I guess I should have mentioned it was against Devil Jin. I didn't do that,
Yeah.
but yeah, he played an incredibly long like Devil Jin equipment heist string.
Mhm.
And I ended up drawing like 8 or 9 cards during his turn. Had like the correct answers to his assets with like pass through walls and hackers, and kind of like played around his effects really well.
Okay.
And I survived it. He had to tap all of his stuff with like 1 card left in hand. And then yeah, I got to kill him on the backswing because he just could not survive with what he had on board and the amount of speed and like damage Rodan gives.
Yeah, that's fair.
Then like top 8, I played against Matt Childress, who I've known for actually forever. He's like a super old player just like me, so we've probably been playing games against each other since like 2011 or 2012.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was on Godzilla. And it kind of went the way I expected with every other Godzilla matchup, where like if he plays the cards, I'm gonna block them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I keep telling people if you can block stomp, if you block Smashing Stomp, you're never gonna die. Which isn't always true, but it's mostly true in my experience. Like if you can block Smashing Stomp, you're never gonna die.
Yeah.
Game 1, I took pretty handedly. Just playing the same game I played all through Swiss, all through Top Cuts at this point, where I just played like incredibly good defense, pretty like spread myself out, but kept myself available in hand for when he does decide to destroy the board, I can still get like 4 or 5 foundations like out. I usually tried to keep like a small build just in case on those turns where it was pretty obvious that like if Godzilla doesn't draw an attack hand, that they're going to be like, okay, I have to use my once per turn or my once per game because I'm just so far behind. And then like that game ended up going pretty well. Game 2, I tried the same strategy, and I was set up, except for on the turn he blew up, I did not hold those foundations.
Oh no.
So I drew into like a 1 foundation hand and was like, all right. I just like got so far behind because I had misplayed like the hand management in that game, that like he just got to win game 2 for free. And then game 3, we just kind of played out my normally scheduled Godzilla programming, where I take some damage, but I don't die to them because I end up blocking the ones that mattered. I don't know. I feel like the only way that Godzilla truly ever kills me is if he draws like double or triple determined advance. And it's not even because it gets him the momentum. It's because I can't reduce its speed.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So I'm
That
just like,
makes sense.
okay, all right. I guess you got me with that one, bud.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like, I don't know. That's my experience every time I play against Godzilla. And I think it might partially be because I'm playing Rodan, but like, even when I wasn't playing Rodan, it's like if you answer their Smashing Stomp with a low block and you have some kind of way of dealing with like Titan Cliff, drawing them cards. So like if that's Disarming Glance, if it's any of the cards that turn off draw, or it's a seal from like Filled with Doubt or Nonagon or anything like that, it's just like they don't do anything. They just sit there with their 6 cards in hand and try to win. And if you block them 3 times, they probably don't. So yeah, that's been my strategy, and it's worked so far. So I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Now you going into kind of top 4, you played back-to-back Porcos, right, for top 4 and then finals?
Yeah. I played against the 2 Porcos on the Miracle Dream Porco run, which was kind of cool. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, well, I guess I kept thinking like, well, I guess my day is like done now, because there's just like no way these Porcos are running hotter than the surface of the sun, and then I'm gonna stop them, which I thought was for sure in the finals. But top 4, I played against, I believe his name was Dawson, and he was a really nice dude. Yeah, really nice dude, super cool guy. And like it was not his games to have. I mean, he I don't know if it was like nerves or anything like that. I don't think he played particularly poorly, but it's just like sometimes you aren't used to or accustomed to playing against somebody who is actually going to play defense against you, especially in like UVS these days, where like it's a lot of racing, it's a lot of people watching Tamarin try to kill his opponents on 2 all the time,
Yeah.
like stuff like that, where it's kind of like a learned behavior where people are kind of going a little bit crazier than you'd think, and defenses kind of catch people off guard at this point. So I just like shut him out of the game, kept using his attacks to kill him with sweeping dagger, which I thought was fun. I think that's kind of the theme of the last 2 rounds I played, top forward finals. I just kept killing them with their own moves. But yeah, it was 2 Porcos in a row, and one of them went out quick. And then in the finals, I thought I was going to lose for sure when I got turn 2'd in game 1, especially because he started that attack turn with one attack in hand and
that
6
was
foundations.
That was insane. Yeah, I rewatched that because I was like, because I was there for the final game because we were doing like other interviews and stuff. So I was in the room for the final game, which was insane.
Yeah.
But like watching it back and seeing like you get turn 2 on game 1, and then game 2 you manage to survive, and then you've got 3 incubatings and science bros. So it's just like
Yeah, that'll kill anybody.
exactly. Yeah, that's just everything's massive. But game 3 was crazy. It's like he finds an extra attack and you probably die, but then like you have such good defensive plays. Can you going down to like the 1 foundation multiple times? Can you kind of talk about that game?
Yeah, so it was probably like the best. I keep saying it's probably the best game of UVS I've played in like 10 years, or Universus, UFS, any of those things. But it's just like you have to kind of work with what you got, I guess. I mean, it's not like I stopped him and full blocked everything during those turns, right? So like it was like a calculated risk, taking some damage, and then like understanding that like, hey, these are the outs he needs to have to like actually kill me here.
Yeah.
So like I go down to 2 foundations on his first attack string, and it's like not the craziest attack string ever. I mean, it's like a pretty normal, good Porco attack string where I guess if he like had drawn an extra attack or 2, I probably do lose, but I end up out of that one pretty healthy. His next, and then I have to go down to 2 foundations, which was awesome, especially because my next draw was 5 attacks and 2 actions. That was really cool. That was a really cool game. Thank you for that. So I had to go into it with like, okay, well, I have to play 2 of these, and one of them has to be Rejuvenating Smash on a 6. So I play the first one and check a 3, obviously, because why wouldn't I? Then play the Rejuvenating Smash. The Rejuvenating Smash checked like a Galactic Monster, so I got bailed out a little bit.
Yeah.
So I drew 2 foundations off the Rejuvenating Smash, removed the Galactic Monster, and I'm like, okay, well, I can like build a couple. I really was only able to build 2 because they were all 2 diffs. So I built the 2 of them, passed the next turn, and then like I think I survived because I have Dimensional Sphere in my deck also, and use Genkais, and it's just like, I don't know, I had a lot of tools in the matchup that were good for disrupting him, but not necessarily like a situation where I was going to come back from that. So like when I drew that hand and like ended up on low foundations or whatever, I was like, well, I'm probably dead.
Yeah.
There's just no way we come back out of this. So we had to do it again, go down to 1 foundation. And then I know commentary was a little bit confused on why I kept Galactic Monster, and it was because I was so far behind that I thought like if I draw the good ones, maybe he has overextended himself enough that if I draw attacks, check foundations with like +4 block mods on them, that like we could just kill him.
Yeah.
I did the calculations in my hand just before I like committed to it, and I was like 1 damage short. So it was never going to be on that turn, which is fine. But like it was just, you know, you have to play with what you got. I was able to stop his second defensive turn. I got to do a nice big build. Kept myself with some defensive options still just in case, but luckily he missed a turn. He takes a turn off, and then I can establish my board again with like 2 builds in a row while getting some poke damage in. And then like at that point, no matter what he did, it would have been incredibly trivial. Because Porco just like runs through their resources incredibly quickly, no matter what. Like he's flipping all of his cards. They're removing their I'm with yous. They're removing their loss of consciousnesses. He's using enough talk. Like the deck flies through its cards so fast, and it's like a tight 60. So I think a lot of people assumed I was just going to mill him out, which was never my strategy. I don't like milling people out unless it's on purpose.
That's fair.
So like I drew my hand and was like, well, there's cards in here I could probably kill him with. And then I had like 4 attacks, so I know my 1 attack killed him. But like, I don't know. I thought it was an awesome game. I liked watching it. He thought I was incredibly lucky for having 2 Genkai's guidances, and I'm like, yeah, I guess so. But also, I went down to 1 foundation. Like it is what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, kind of.
I-
I was curious about that last attack. So obviously it was lethal, but he had the barrier shield, and he had a half block, which shouldn't have killed him, right? We see him go through like his deck. And
it wasn't a half block. I made it a high. He could only block it with the
Oh.
barrier shield. I made it a high with Supersonic.
Gotcha.
His only
Okay.
legal block was barrier shield.
Makes sense. Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Well, that clears it up then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, congratulations. Amazing run.
Yeah, thank you.
Is there anybody that you would like to shout out or anything before we wrap it up here?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody at the Trading Post. That's the team that we're on. Myself, Wub, Nathan, Eli, Kyle, Alex, Josh, and then Shri has been like the big driving force behind this team. He's been super active in the community. He's been pushing the game as much as he can, adding prize support to people's like online tournaments and stuff where he can. So big thanks to all of them, like for getting me like rejuvenated off bad decks and trying to actually like compete again, because having like a team structure and an atmosphere is really cool. So really just them. I mean, I had a great time seeing everybody. So I know I had to like kind of fly out of there. I had to finish the finals and I had to get my prizes and leave for the airport immediately. So
Yeah.
there wasn't much time to say goodbye. So shout outs to everybody that I usually say goodbye to and know that I care and thought it was cool to hang out with everybody. I just didn't get the opportunity to say it.
For sure. Absolutely. Well,
That's really all I got for shout outs.
yeah. Alrighty. Well, hey, I do want to thank you very much for taking the time to talk with us. And again, congrats.
Yeah, thanks a lot.